Greetings to our school's division superintendent, Loida and Nidea, to our assistant schools division superintendents for elementary, Dr. Lynn Z. Padillo and Dr. Cecil C. Ferro, to our assistant schools division superintendent for secondary, Dr. Sosan S. Culiano, to our education program supervisor for Araling Panlipunan, Dr. Mariben D. Berha, the Division Araling Panlipunan Coordinator for Elementary, PSDS Ana Kalisura, and to our Division Araling Panlipunan Coordinator for Secondary, Ma'am Rosemary R. Miranya, to other SDO officials, PSDSS principals, and to you, my dear participants, good afternoon. Today, I am tasked to discuss to you the open educational resources, both public domain and the Creative Commons license. So this is John Paul T. Dacillo, a senior high school teacher 1 of Felipe V. Panton High School, Bula District. So, for this session, the participants are expected to understand the concepts of open educational resources, both public domain and Creative Commons, and identify and cite sources under OER, the public domain, and the Creative Commons. Now, let's proceed to the open educational resources. The worldwide OER movement is rooted in the human right to access high-quality education. This shift in educational practice is not just about the cost savings and easy access to openly licensed content. It's about participation and co-creation. Open educational resources, or OER, offer opportunities for systematic change in teaching and learning content through engaging educators in the new participatory processes and effective technologies for engaging with learning. So what is open educational resources? Open educational resources are teaching, learning, and research resources that reside in the public domain or have been released under a CC license that permits the free use and free repurposing of the others. That permits no cost, access, use, adaptation, and redistribution by others with no or limited restrictions. So it is according to the UNESCO or UNESCO. Some resources can be downloaded and shared with colleagues and students, while others can be downloaded, edited, and reposted as a remixed work. Most OER are born digital, but being digital is not determinative of whether a material is OER or not. All OER are free, but not all free resources are OER. Some free resources may not be modified, adapted, or redistributed without express permission from the copyright holder. If a lesson plan or activity is not clearly tagged as being in the public domain or having an open license, then it is not an OER. Always bear in mind the principles of the fair use and always find and read first the fine print of the resources. If we say fine print of the resources, it is the terms of use or the privacy policy of the resources. Now, let's talk about the public domain and the Creative Commons. Now, what is public domain? Public domain consists of all the creative work, to which no exclusive intellectual property rights apply. Those rights may have been expired, been forfeited, expressly waived, or may be inapplicable. Anyone can use a public domain work without obtaining permission, but no one can ever own it because it is owned by the public. Now, how works enter the public domain? We have four. First is the copyright term of protection has expired. Second, copyright owner failed to renew the copyright. Third, copyright owner deliberately places it in the public domain or also known as dedication. And fourth, work is not protected by copyright like facts, ideas, theories, procedures, system, method, concept, and principle that has no tangible expressions. We already done with the public domain. Now, let's proceed to the Creative Commons. Creative Commons is an American nonprofit organization devoted to expanding the range of creative works available for others to build upon legally and to share by releasing several copyright licenses, known as the Creative Commons or CC licenses, free of charge to the public. A Creative Commons license is one of several public copyright licenses that enable the free distribution of an otherwise copyrighted work. A CC license is used when an author wants to give other people the right to share, use, and build upon a work that they created. CC provides an author flexibility. For example, they might choose to allow only non-commercial uses of a given work and protects the people who use or distribute an author's work from concerns of copyright infringement, as long as they abide by the conditions that are specified in the license by which the author distributes the work. So we're already done with the definition of the Creative Commons. So, here in this slide, we can see the different logos of the Creative Commons licenses. So first, we have the CC BY. Next is the CC BY SA. Third, the CC BY NC. Fourth, the CC BY ND. Fifth, the CC BY NC SA. And the last logo is CCBY, NC, and D. So these are the logos that we can find or we can see under the resources that has a license under the Creative Commons. Now, let's take a look to the different CC licenses. So first is the CC BY attribution. Lets others distribute, remix, tweak, and build upon your work, even commercially, as long as they credit you for the original creation. So this is the most accommodating of licenses offered, recommended for maximum dissemination and use of licensed materials. Next is the CCBY SA. When we say SA, it is share alike. Creative Commons by attribution share alike. So let others remix, tweak, and build upon your work, even commercial purposes, as long as they credit you and license their new creations under identical terms. This is particularly important if your work also includes others people materials licensed through the Creative Commons. The third one is the CCBY-ND or Creative Commons by attribution non-derivatives. So it allows for distribution, commercial and non-commercial, as long as it is passed along unchanged and in whole with credit to you or to the author. Now, let's proceed to the fourth CC license. So we have here the CC BY and C. So also known as the Creative Commons by Attribution Non-Commercial. So let others remix, tweak, and build upon your work non-commercially. And although their new works must be acknowledged you and be non-commercial. So they don't have to license their derivative works on the same terms. The fifth one is the CC BY and CSA, or the Creative Commons by Attribution Non-Commercial Share Alike. So let others remix, tweak, and build upon your work non-commercially as long as they credit you and license their new creations under the identical terms. So take note, it is non-commercial and share alike. And the last one is the most restrictive of the six main licenses, the CC BY, NC, and D, or the Creative Commons by Attribution Non-Commercial Non-Derivatives. So only allowing others to download your works and share them with others as long as they credit you, but they can change them in any way or use them commercially. So we have here the five core principles of OER. So these five core principles of OER is under the terms of the said six Creative Commons licenses. So these are the terms. So first is reuse, the most basic level of openness. People are allowed to use all or part of the work for their own purposes. One example is download an educational video to watch a later time. Second, redistribute. Can people share the work with others? An example is send a digital article or news article by email to a colleague. And third is revise. People can adapt, modify, translate, or change the work. For example, take a book written in English and turn it into an Spanish audio book. The fourth core principle of OER is remix. People can take two or more existing resources and combine them to create a new resource. For an example is you take an audio lectures from one course and combine them with the slides from another course to create a new derivative work. And number 5 is retain. No digital rights management restrictions, so the content is yours to keep, whether you are the author, an instructor using the material, or a student. So it is retain. In finding our resources online, always remember that we need to read the fine print. If a resource specifies conditions of use, read the fine print. Click the View Resource button and look for any disclaimer and policies on copyright and usage of the material. This may vary from resource to resource, so it is necessary to review the specific policy of a resource. Also, remember, when searching for possible open educational resources on the web, check to see whether or not the resource has a Creative Commons license or a statement giving permission for reuse. It may be common practice to use free resources without worrying unduly about copyright. But there are risks without a clear license permission for reuse. For instance, many sites such as OpenLearn allow only individual, personal use for non-commercial purposes, which means providing a link to the site for the students, rather than integrating the materials directly into your own teaching. If any doubt about the right to reuse, check with your library or intellectual property department. So may I present to you the different open educational resources or OER sites that has been recommended by the Department of Education. So we have here the OERcommons.org. OER Commons is a public digital library of open educational resources. You can explore, create, and collaborate with other educators around the world to improve the curriculum. Next, we have the Curriki.org. Provides curricular materials and lesson plans for a whole variety of subjects that are searchable by topic and grade level. We have also here the CK12 Foundation. So CK12 Foundation is a non-profit that creates and aggregates high-quality curated STEM content. Next is the Khan Academy. Khan Academy has strong offerings in math and sciences that are designed by grade level subject. So there are also humanities offerings, including the ELA lessons by grade level. Requires you to register with the site, but there is no cost for anything. Also, we have here the Mathematics Vision Project.org. It is unlimited free lessons on mathematics that are best suited to high school curricula. We have also the link for the Merlot.org and the OERcommons.org, the advanced search. Also, we have the wikibooks.org, Wiki or the Wiki Junior. It is the open access textbooks geared towards children from birth to age 12. We also here we have also here the pbslearningmedia.org. It is the collection of video lessons and supplemental materials. Bibliomania.com contains free ebooks, primary public domain classics, but also contains study guides and reference materials as well. Next is the Gutenberg.org. Gutenberg.org is a large collection of public domain ebooks in formats that will work on multiple devices and e-readers. Also, we have the reader Let's Read Asia.org. So it is the Asia's free digital library for children. Books can be downloaded and printed. So we have also here the depth ed resources. So we can get any information or resources from the following depth ed resources. First is the alternative delivery modality learning resources. The DLPs from quarter 1 to quarter 4 that has been provided to us of the regional office 5 to utilize in our classroom discussion. And also the open high school program contextualized modules grade 7 to 10. Okay, so now I will demonstrate to you the on how to select or search a resources or article that has or under the Creative Commons licenses. So click here and type your topic. So for example, is all about um, cultural relativism. So generally, ang lalabas po dyan ay halo-halo. Maaari pong copyrighted or not copyrighted or under the CC license or a public domain. So let's go to the settings. So this one. So this settings. So advanced search. Click the advanced search. So lalabas po yung page ng advanced search. So under the usage rights, we need to select the Creative Commons licenses. So mayroon po siyang choices: the all, Creative Commons licenses, and commercial and other licenses. So we need to click the Creative Commons licenses and click Advanced Search. Okay, so lumabas na po yung mga pages na um, ano na po nasala kung ano yung kung na mga pages na under Creative Commons. So we have here the Khan Academy. Already stated at my discussion that Khan Academy is under a Creative Commons or under OER pages or websites. So we try to check the courses lumenlearning.com if it is under the Creative Commons licenses. Now, we are in at the site of the Lumen Learnings. It's about the cultural relativism. So, saan po ba mahanap ang fine print or ang ang categorization or part ng website na to na magsasabi na ang website na to ay under the Creative Commons license. So at the bottom, we can see the references and also the part wherein it says that this page is under the Creative Commons license. So the licenses and attributions. So this or the article in this page is under a creative license. So as stated in the license, the CCBYSA attributions share alike. Ang license na ibinigay dito po sa dito po sa courses Lumen Learning, especially on the article about the cultural relativism. So Lumen Learnings is an OER under Creative Commons. So that's all for the article. Now, so we'll proceed to how to find free use pictures or images. So let's click the images. So in this in this part, the same din po ang process: advanced search, usage rights, Creative Commons licenses, advanced search, and then lalabas po dyan yung mga images na pwede pong gamitin sa inyong um, ginagawang project or libro or sa module na maaari po mag-supplement on the learning of the students. So nandyan po yan. Basta ganun lang po ang paghanap ng So mahirap po maghanap ng mga picture, exactly a picture na yung gusto natin, especially kung ito po ay under the Creative Commons licenses or free to use. So mahirap the exact picture. So be creative na lang po tayo sa paglalagay ng ng topic or ng bagay na hinahanap natin sa Google para po mas maabot natin or mahanap natin yung mga gusto nating bagay na ilagay doon sa ating academic writing or any project or output na ginagawa natin. Okay, so yun po ang isa sa technique ng paghahanap ng online resources or dalawang technique na paghahanap ng mga resources online that is under the Creative Commons licenses. So that's the end of my presentation. Hope so that you learned something from my discussion. So thank you and God bless. Thank you very much. Bye bye.